Hello, everybody. Today on the Set of Dimensions, we have Michael Looper. He's an entrepreneur. We're going to talk about the impact of and technological advances that Elon Musk has brought to us in the tech industry. Mike is one of my friends who I would say probably knows a lot more about Elon Musk than a lot of us. So we're going to start by Mike's just going to kind of introduce us to Elon Musk and tell us a little bit about how he got his start.
Well, he's an interesting man. I mean, it's amazing because when he has an idea, he takes action. And so what he did when he was younger, I think he was 12 or 15, he wrote Blastar, which was a video game.
One I haven't played.
Yeah. and then he went from there to something called Zip2. Zip2 was another company using maps and stuff for the yellow pages or something along those lines. It was back in the early days of the internet. And then from there to PayPal. And then
that's something that most everybody is aware of. And what was the significance of PayPal? Let's break that down for a minute. Because back in the day, before PayPal,
you couldn't send money.
You couldn't send money. You could send money. You could send it Western Union. But you could not send money instantaneously.
Right, and you couldn't do it through a credit card either.
Right. So the only way to get money instantaneously, you couldn't. The only way to get money, Western Union or the old-fashioned bank-to-bank wire transfer.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to send him money, I had to go to Western Union. He had to go to Western Union to get the money. Okay? So PayPal really revolutionized the way you send money to friends and the way actually that you do business. A lot of my orders are paid through PayPal, and if you've ever done eBay, PayPal was like the only way you wanted to pay. And so explain to them why PayPal was the way you wanted to pay.
Well, because it was integrated into the website itself. And in fact, eBay bought PayPal, and it was that money that Elon used to start SpaceX and Tesla.
And the thing about PayPal was you had recourse. PayPal stood behind your purchase. So if you purchased something and they didn't mail it to you or whatever, through PayPal, you could get your money back easy.
That's true.
So, and PayPal had a different system. They had like a system where you send instantaneous money to friend or family, and then they had a goods and service part where you could send it goods and service. And what that meant was if you didn't get the goods, they didn't get the money. Yeah. So the money wasn't even taken out till you got your goods. On that part of it, a lot of people preferred friends to family because you could get it instantaneously that way.
Well, see, now we have things like cryptocurrency, Bitcoin and all the Ethereum and all that kind of stuff. Well, back then you didn't have anything like that.
Mm-mm.
So PayPal, that's another reason why it was so revolutionary, and that's why eBay saw the potential and bought it. But then Elon, he could have just retired. He never had to work another day in his life. But he didn't want to just sit around and do nothing. He wanted to make an impact. And
he was visionary. He had ideas and things he wanted to implement. And by the sale of his company PayPal, he was able to enact a lot of that. But it wasn't easy, was it, for him?
It wasn't easy. He's very good at scheduling his time. He uses a system called blocking, where he blocks out a portion of the time, and it's a very effective kind of habit to have.
So he used the money to create Tesla and SpaceX, right?
Yes, and there was a point where at one point both companies were going to die. He came to a crossroads. I can't remember. I think it was back in '08 or something, where it was like he had enough money. He didn't have enough money for both companies. He could either put all the money in SpaceX and Tesla would die, or vice versa, or but he didn't want anything, so he just split the money, and he just decided to split the money between both companies and go all in on Tesla and SpaceX.
Okay, so let's talk about each company independently. So let's talk about Tesla first.
Okay.
So with that company, he really revolutionized the auto industry, didn't he?
He did, because he wanted to get to sustainable energy. And that's how he came across these ideas. You know, like I said, when he sold PayPal, he had enough money to just go live on an island somewhere and never have to work again.
Mm-hmm.
But he wanted to make an impact, and one of the ways he wanted to do that was through sustainable energy, and that's where Tesla came from.
Right.
Now, he didn't actually technically start the Tesla company. It was started by somebody else. He just bought it from them. But at the time, having an electric car, having the vision to make an electric car that was as good as a gas car was pretty revolutionary.
Now, the thing about it is, what was significant about not only was it electric, but what else? He incorporated AI in it to where it could learn and have avoidance systems and everything, you know?
Well, Elon's all about efficiency. He wants to see something work the best it can work. And sometimes to do that, you have to iterate multiple times. That's why he's made so much progress with SpaceX in space and stuff. Things we'll talk about.
So he's making Tesla, or his vision is to make Tesla, the Tesla car, fully autonomous, right?
Yes, fully autonomous. And he just finished building the biggest AI supercomputer in the world. They built that. That's in Giga, Texas right now, and they just flipped the switch and turned it on the other day, I think.
So he built a factory to build these Teslas in Texas.
Yes. And it's funny because somebody posted something, all of Elon's exes live in Texas.
That's not wrong.
So SpaceX, X itself, because he shut down the headquarters of it, the Twitter headquarters, and because California is insane right now.
Imagine selling your company, PayPal, and then years later having $44 billion to purchase Twitter.
Yeah.
Just because you didn't like the way it was being ran.
And what a lot of people, well, it's not so much that. He wants to fight for free speech. And right now in today's world, that's more important than anything, I think. Free speech is in jeopardy, and once we lose that, it's gone forever. You can't get it back.
So another thing, along with Tesla, he created the Cybertruck.
Yes, Tesla's revolutionary because they're not just a car company. They're actually a robotics company. And that's why a lot of the stock people get it wrong, because they're looking at it through only one lens. It's a car company. No, it isn't. It's a software company. It's a robotics company. Because the Tesla cars right now are literally rolling mobile robots, basically.
We're riding in a robot.
Riding in a robot, and on October 10th this year, like within the next few days here, he's going to unveil the robotaxi. The robotaxi is going to revolutionize.
Now, by the time y'all see this episode, he will have already unveiled that.
That's true. That's true. I keep forgetting.
So, but anyways, going back to the Cybertruck, he's integrated a lot of high-tech features to this truck.
The most revolutionary thing about the Cybertruck is the 48 volt architecture. Because for years they wanted everything was 12 volts in the cars, and now the truck is 48 volts, and that makes an insane difference. I'm not up to speed on all the technical reasons why, but nobody else has that. Nobody's done it, and it proves my point about Elon and the way he thinks. Just because it hasn't been done before doesn't mean it can't be done. Mm-hmm. And everybody told him that about the car and about everything else.
So and this is my opinion, is he is our modern day Nikola Tesla.
I agree.
Nikola Tesla was visionary. And just like Elon like him, is into everything, not just building cars or building robots. Although he is building which we'll get into later, he is building a robot, but we'll get into that later. Let's move along to SpaceX. That's, oh my gosh. Now, compared to NASA,
well,
with SpaceX, you don't have all the bureaucracy you got with NASA, right?
Yeah, but people are forgetting one thing that stands out to me is his dedication to his idea. He went to Russia to buy he wanted to go to space. Well, you need a rocket. Well, he didn't know how to build rockets, so he read a bunch of books and figured out how to build a rocket. I mean, that's pretty crazy. Because when he went to Russia to buy a rocket, it was way too expensive. And he said there's got to be a better way. It's the way he thinks. He thinks in first principles, which means boil it all down. Don't base it on opinion or politics or anything else. I just need to know, is it physically, molecularly possible to do it? Well, then let's do it. And that's how he has all these innovations happening.
So the thing about what the significance between, here's what I want to point out, is his rockets is called the Falcon
9.
Falcon 9. So what is significant about the Falcon 9 when you compare it to NASA's rockets?
Well, the fact that it can land.
NASA has never had a rocket. Well, actually, he was the first one to have a rocket that is reusable.
Yes.
NASA used to eject them into the ocean. So every mission was a one-shot deal with those rockets. They couldn't be used again. They ejected them, and that was it. That's a huge waste of money.
Well, not only that, I mean, just think about that for a minute. He realized that we need a reusable rocket.
Mm-hmm.
Well, nobody had ever done that before. He said he doesn't let that stop him. Okay, well, let's figure it out. There's got to be a way.
This is really cool. We were talking about Tesla earlier. His first payload on the maiden voyage of his rocket.
Yes, was his own personal roadster.
Tesla Roadster.
It's up in the sky right now. He's got a little mannequin in there, and they call him Starman. And he's got his hands on the wheels, and the Tesla's just floating through space. I think that's cool.
So here's the deal. There is actually a website you can go to that shows you live where that Tesla is. And what we're showing here right now, it's on the other side of Venus.
Yeah.
I mean, like on the other side. It's on the other side of Mars's orbit. So it's orbiting around, and it's going to get close to Mars. It's the goal is to fly by Mars, that's going to happen.
Yeah, it's moving away from us like 23,000 kilometers per minute or something, or per hour. I can't remember, but that's the kind of speed it's going away from us. So it's going to end up.
So his goal is the next time it's close to Earth is 2047. That's when it's going to be. It'll be only be 3 million miles from Earth at that point. I don't know if it's really a goal, but they have talked about retrieving it. They've actually talked about having a mission to go up and retrieve it and bring it back for studies because it has been in space since 2018.
That's true.
We could learn a lot from getting this roadster back and studying it. Part of me wants it just to stay up there, though.
Yeah.
But, okay, so get this. So if we could go retrieve it, how rich would we be if we sold it on eBay? And somebody would pay with PayPal, right?
Yeah, no doubt. That'd be a nice one.
You can go online and see where this roadster is. It's beyond Mars's orbit at the moment. It's beyond the orbit of Mars. It's going to come around. It'll come back inside the orbit eventually, and then it'll fly by Mars.
Well, Elon even said you might catch a glimpse of it when you're going to Mars.
Yeah.
By the time we go to Mars,
do you think
we might fly right past it?
That is his goal, is to go visit Mars, to go send a man to Mars. Yeah. It's his goal to actually go to send people to live on Mars.
Yes.
It's his goal to run a company that will take you to vacation on Mars. You want a vacation? Let's go to Mars.
Well, what I like is this is stuff you dream about, or at least I did when I was a kid. You know, how cool would it be to go to Mars or to do this or to do that? He's actually doing the things. That's just mind blowing to me. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, and with the Falcon, he might can get it done. I really think he will. Okay, so they did a major historic breakthrough. SpaceX did. Just was it last week or?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago now, maybe.
Okay, so what was that? What was
Polaris Dawn?
the significant?
Polaris Dawn was significant because it was the first commercial spacewalk known to man. In other words, NASA didn't send them up. This wasn't a government thing. This is a private entity going to space and...
And not only that, it was the highest spacewalk ever, right?
Ever
He set records, 2 records right there.
No one's ever been as far away from the Earth as they were.
That is crazy. He was higher than the space station even.
And that was just a couple weeks ago. I mean, that's crazy.
I mean, that's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Like, really, nobody's been up higher.
I think we will live to see in our lifetime people go to Mars.
That would be amazing.
That's his goal.
Well, I mean, look at what he's accomplished in what?
What is it?
6 years?
6 years, I think.
6 years since the maiden voyage of the Falcon.
Yeah.
The Falcon was February 6th, 2018. 6 years.
Yeah.
And he's already had the first space walk.
Yeah. Well,
and they safely returned.
SpaceX has had a rocky history. I mean, at one point they had enough money for one more launch. It would have been launch number 4. The first 3 failed.
Oh, that would be crazy.
The first 3 failed, and then he had enough money for one more launch. If that launch doesn't make it, the company dies. And because of that one launch, now look where they are today. It's crazy.
In just 6 years.
Yeah.
In technology wise, I mean, in the timeline, that's minuscule. You know, that's crazy.
What did I do in the last 6 years? Buy a pair of shoes. I mean, you know, switch cars. I mean, you know.
So let's talk about something else that he's working on, and it's kind of it's not really low key, but they don't talk about it as much as they talk about Tesla and SpaceX, and that's the Neuralink.
Neuralink, yes. They actually have a live human trial. They've had him now for, I think, since last year.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, he can actually move the cursor on a screen with his brain.
So let's talk about this. So it's an implant that interfaces with computers.
Yes. It's about a quarter size big. They take out a piece of the skull and they drop it in, and then they have to connect the wires, physically connect the wires to the tissue.
To the neural network? Or?
To the neural network tissue, to the actual tissue. And it's a surgical robot. And it has to be a robot because humans' hands aren't steady enough. Because this is micron,
now
microscopic.
What are they trying to achieve with this?
They want to heal stuff like Alzheimer's disease, paralyzed, can walk again. They're actually even claiming vision. They can heal somebody with vision as long as
So a blind person.
A blind person, somebody who has never seen before in their entire life, can all of a sudden see. And that's because they can connect those. They can make those connections in the brain with these surgical robots. It's incredible stuff. Now, you add in the fact that he just finished building the biggest AI computer in the world. They're building robots. The robot's called Optimus. Now, if you combine those two, you could have a humanoid robot, AI robot, walking around helping you do whatever.
Now, before we get to the robot real quick, back to Neuralink. So, you know the military has something similar, where the pilot, wearing his helmet, all he has to do is move his head and the gun will, and all he has to do is think about shooting and the gun will shoot. And these are in some of our fighter jets. The biggest difference between these two, it's the same, he's interfacing, right? But what's the difference?
Speed.
Speed, number one, and number two, it's actually implanted. He don't have to wear a helmet. Yeah. It's right here. He carries it with him everywhere. It's not like putting on equipment. You're done with your flight. You're going home, so you take it off. You know. And now I'm told is it correct that supposedly you're supposed to be able to even connect and be on the internet with it?
Yes.
Just by thinking, you know.
Yeah, he says even
So,
telepathy is even possible.
That is crazy.
Like we can communicate with each other just by thinking. It's crazy, phenomenal stuff.
So, are we talking about the eventual elimination of smartphones?
Possibly.
I mean, so think about this from the sale of PayPal. Okay, selling PayPal. You have Tesla, you have SpaceX, you have Neuralink, and other stuff that we ain't even talking about yet.
Yeah. Did I tell you about the Boring Company?
Mm-mm.
With the tunnels?
Building
the tunnels for the cars?
Under the freeways?
Oh, yeah.
Now, I know he has one in...
he has one
at the Gigafactory, right?
Yeah.
So what is the Gigafactory, real quick?
The Gigafactory is probably the largest factory in the world. And he built it in 14 months, which was pretty fast. I mean, from raw land to full factory.
Oh yeah, that's crazy fast.
That's crazy fast. They did it faster in China. They did it by 11 months. But 14 months is still like crazy fast. I mean, because the size of this factory is like enormous. Damn thing's 4 levels tall, and who knows if it goes deep, you know, like whatever. I mean, and they're going to be building robots in there. Right now they're building the Cybertrucks and the Model Ys and all that. And they're also going to be developing the brand new car, the $25,000 car. On October 10th, they're going to reveal their robo-taxi. And
so what's the robo-taxi?
The robo-taxi is an autonomous car. Autonomous just means it drives by itself. And the reason his autonomous system is more revolutionary, because we have cars that do that now, but the reason this one's more revolutionary than those is because of it's using vision. Cameras. That's it. He said humans drive. We have a neural net. And we have 2 cameras, you know, and so that's how he's training the cars, and they're driving right now. They're on version 12.5.4 or some craziness. Every day somebody's uploading a video of their car driving itself. And
robotic taxis. So that would eliminate not only taxis but Uber, Lyft.
It's going to kill. It'll kill Uber. All those guys. They're done. They can't compete. There's no way.
So the significance of that is it takes out the factor of human error.
Yes, he said it's going to be 100 times safer. And it's going to take a while for people to get used to that idea. Mm-hmm. But he said eventually what will happen is people will require it. They will prefer that over a human driver. And he said, right now everybody's scared of it, but eventually what will happen is they won't want to do it any other way. They won't want a human to drive the car because it's unsafe.
Yeah. So another thing he's doing, let's talk about that, is Optimus. Let's talk about Optimus for a minute.
Optimus, yes. A humanoid robot. Well, because the cars are autonomous, that same system that runs the autonomous car is going to run the robot. So
we're talking AI, right?
We're talking AI, and the robot is going to be able to learn. Let's say it learns how to move the can from here to here. Mm-hmm. Once it learns that, it can shoot that knowledge to all the rest of the robots.
A neural network.
Yeah. It's
a neural network. So are you familiar with Star Trek at all?
Yeah.
The Borg?
Yes.
But the Borg are more it's integrated. Would they call them androids? That it's part human, part robot.
Yeah, androids, I think is.
So that's what it sounds like, the network that we're talking about here. So do you think see a lot of people are against robots having AI, and being capable of learning and learning from their mistakes or whatever. Do you think there's something to fear about that? Because a lot of them fear about them literally overtaking. See, I talked to I talked to a time traveler who claimed to be from 2136. We're talking a long ways away. Right. He said there's no such thing as government. There's no such. He said there's no such thing as government. That AI has taken over in that time period, and that's what's running the world at that time. So, do you think that's something to fear?
Definitely. It worries me because AI is going to be better at everything. And when you put the neural network or the AI brain into a robot body, I mean, what is it not going to be able to do better than we can? I mean, that's crazy. It's definitely scary to me. I love the fact that we're making this kind of progress. I mean, this is fantasy dream world coming true in real life. So it's exciting on that front, but yeah, it's scary. Because, who's going to stop the AI at that point?
Yeah.
At that point, it can outsmart us, and we can definitely be doing the Terminator thing.
So let's talk about something else that he's accomplished, internet-wise.
Starlink, yes.
What is significant about Starlink compared to your average internet provider?
Well, for one thing, the speed of the information. And you have other satellite providers, but they cannot compete because their satellites are too far away. Starlink is revolutionary because it's low Earth orbit satellites.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they communicate via laser, so it's speed of light. So yeah, and every day they're sending up, or once a month minimum, they're sending up more satellites. I think.
So that's the biggest difference. That's the biggest thing that's significant is he's operating on satellites that he himself put up there. He's not riding on other companies' satellites like other internet providers, right?
Exactly right. He owns the network, so
he owns all of it.
Yeah, all of it.
So, and being satellite, you should be able to surf the web no matter where you are in the world.
Yeah, he wants gaming speeds anywhere on the planet. That's what they're going for, and that's going to take about 40,000 satellites. Right now, I think they have like 10 maybe or something like that.
So they're about 25% there where they want to be. But I do remember that when they first started, service was spotty at best because you had to wait for the satellite to make its orbit to come back. Yeah. But he wants uninterrupted internet.
Yeah. This would be live gameplay, full motion video, audio, the whole experience. Gaming experience no matter where you are on the planet.
And that's what my point was. Technologically wise, he's dabbling in absolutely everything you could think of.
Yeah.
It's like...
Well, and right now I feel like he's getting involved in the politics because the politicians are holding him up. Look at the FAA craziness right now. He's had the biggest starship. Starship is the biggest ship to ever be made and to ever be shot into space. And... he's been ready to go for a month or better. And he's just sitting there waiting for the FAA. They're just screwing with him on purpose. And
so what better way than to get in bed with the politicians to be able to cut through the bureaucracy, basically?
Yeah. Well, like he said, government, what happens is there's no way to take rules away. You can always add more rules, and we do every year, but he said eventually you just get bogged down with, everything becomes illegal. There's too many rules, and he said there's no garbage collection for the rules. And so getting involved politically means that, because they've already said Trump is going to have him head a committee to reduce the size of government. The regulations are killing them. It's just strangling everybody. And that's a tax on us as the people. Because we can't make any progress. We can't get anything done.
What's his goal with the Starship? What's the plan, the game plan?
Well, Starship is going to be taking us to Mars. And that's the biggest thing.
So is he making practice runs or something? I mean, like what?
Well, this would be flight number 5. I think the first 3, they've been test running it, and this is flight number 5, and this is the first time that when they come back in, they want to catch the booster. So, and that's the one thing he did that nobody else has been able to figure out, is how to make a rocket reusable and rapidly reliable and reusable.
So you're trying to say he has a viable ship right now that could possibly take us to Mars?
Yes.
Wow.
And, and they're on flight number 5. They're going to go up into space. They want to test it, and when it comes back down, the booster, the rocket booster that shot it into the sky, is going to come back and land on the tower. Because
okay, if they pull that off, that would be
that's what they
that would be amazing. I mean,
they want to try that this time.
They have the rockets. I've seen them do tests where they had the rockets when they came off the Falcon land on individual ships.
Yeah.
And they were spot on. They landed right on the deck.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
But to land back at the launch pad.
Yeah. Well, they got the towers.
That would be insane.
They got these 2 arms on the tower, and they call it Mechazilla. And the arms are going to catch it as it comes down. The arms are going to catch it like this, and the reason for that is so that you can stack it and load it up and shoot it again. You want to do 2 or 3.
I mean, why not, right?
You want to do 2 or 3 launches a day. Like you could fly to Japan from this side of the world, go to Japan for lunch because they're going to go up into the atmosphere and go around the world that way.
Well, that's be much, much, much quicker.
It'd be a lot faster.
So here's another thing for you all to think about. So we have astronauts right now stranded on the space station.
Yes.
Guess who's going to bring them home?
You're right.
Because Boeing couldn't do it. Boeing's Starliner failed. Is it called Starliner? I think it's called Starliner.
Starliner, yeah.
Failed. So Elon's Dragon, that's what the ship is called, is going to go up there and bring them home.
And yeah.
Why is Elon doing that? Because NASA can't. They can't.
Right. And even after all that, they're still holding him up from his 5th launch. It's all.
And this is why I think he got involved in politics.
It's exactly why, because it's all political. They're holding him up for whatever reason, and he's like, "I just want to go to space, man. I'm ready to go. I got the shit." He's like, "I shouldn't be able to build a rocket faster than it takes paperwork to move from one desk to the next." And he's
done that.
And he's right about that. I mean, that is crazy.
It seems to me like they would want him to do this because he's advancing mankind. In the space race, if there's really a race, I don't think there really is. I mean, we've been competing with the Russians for how long?
Yeah.
But now that we're on the outs with them and they're not our best buddies, I mean, that's probably why they won't help us bring astronauts home.
Well, there's a security risk too by going to space. They don't want somebody to get.
Oh well, they're going to want to weaponize it.
Yeah, definitely.
But I mean, we had Star Wars back in the Reagan era, the space defense, system up there.
Yeah.
So of course the military is going to want a piece of the pie to weaponize it, basically.
Pretty much.
I mean, I'm surprised they haven't went after his Falcon 9. Although they might have, and we just don't know about it.
Well, my own personal reasons why I think he's getting so much crap is because the world is run by the oil guys. And he's getting us off the oil. Well, that's their main source of income. It runs the world. You don't touch a man's wallet. So that's why they're screwing him up.
Oh yeah, and they're doing a great job at it. I mean, slowing him up anyway. It's just he's still progressing regardless.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think, we'll get to see within the next decade. This is my prediction. Within the next decade, a man will set foot on Mars because of Elon Musk's SpaceX.
I think so.
I mean, look at
I think so.
the advancement he's made in just 6 years. From a maiden voyage to the highest spacewalk. I mean,
It's incredible, and part of the reason he can make so much progress so fast is because of iteration. He can reiterate. He owns the hardware, so he can blow it up. He can blow it up as many times as he need to until he figures out how to make it work. And that's the iteration process is so fast. That's the one thing NASA doesn't have. They don't have that luxury.
oh no, every time they made a flight, like, all the hardware was gone. Like, it's in the ocean. It was ejected and...
Well, not only that, they couldn't afford to be wrong. They can't just shoot it up and see what happens. He can do that because he owns the hardware. He owns the ship. He can blow it up if he wants to. And if blowing it up makes him learn faster and gets him to space, gets him to Mars faster, then that's what he's going to do.
And a lot of people don't know this, but Elon was actually paid by major companies all around to take their satellites up to space.
Yeah, he says that people think SpaceX is funded by the U.S. government contracts, and he said that's not true. He said most of our revenue is from commercial. People paying them to put their satellites up there or whatever.
Yeah. Because who else can do that now?
But then on top of it, he's building his own satellite network. Right along, he's got Falcon 9 going like 24/7 damn near.
Here's what I want everybody to think about. Look at what he's done in 6 months, or 6 years. 6 months. 6 months, that's fast. Look at what he's done in 6 years, from the maiden voyage to the world breaking the world record for the spacewalk being the highest and all of that in just 6 years. Now think about how long has NASA been working on the Aurora ship? The Aurora that was supposed to replace the shuttles.
Yeah.
The shuttles could only go up to orbit. Okay? They could go up to the space station and all that stuff, but they even dismantled that program.
Yeah.
So they've been working how long? How many decades? A good decade I know of that they've been working on the Aurora ship that's supposed to go up there.
Well, that's part of the reason he started SpaceX to begin with, because he said, there's nothing happening. It's like, ain't nobody else going to do it. I guess I'm going to have to do it. And that's why he started it.
I mean, and he's fully capable of pulling up, I think.
How many times do we do that? How many times do I have an idea throughout the day, but I don't go out there and start a company and get it done? Yeah, that's where I'm.
Well, but you didn't have PayPal to sell either.
That's
now that PayPal, selling PayPal was a good stepping stone, but here's the deal: he didn't waste it.
That's true.
No, he used it for it to progress his visions.
Yeah, he could have retired to an island for the rest of his life.
Well, that's probably what I would have done. I would have probably done that. I probably had my own private island.
That thought has run through my mind a time or two.
But I mentioned that that him and others were talking about possibly retrieving the Tesla that's in orbit for study. They think it would advance research, on how things last in space. I think that would be valuable information because he is talking about going to Mars and talking about populating Mars and vacationing, people taking vacations there. But part of me doesn't want that to happen. Like that.
Yeah.
I would like for that thing to stay up in space. I mean, wouldn't that be cool? I mean,
it would be cool.
I'm a car nerd, so
it wouldn't surprise me if he's already got cameras recording the whole thing.
Well, he did have cameras on them recording, so you could see, and it was a live feed at one time. You could see through the cameras live.
Yeah.
Until the batteries died, and then after that,
Yeah,
but they're gonna send when it gets close to Mars. We're talking 2047 though. He wants to a mission to go up to the car and take new pictures so we can see the would you call it corrosion, the effect that space has on materials, so that you could see how the car is doing basically. and maybe he's retrieving it and bringing it back to Earth.
Well, there's a window of time to go to Mars. Like the planets have to line up a certain thing, and I think it happens every 2 or 4 years, something like that. And the next window, whenever that is when he wants to go to Mars for the first time. It'll be an unmanned version.
Well, yeah. I mean, we've already been to Mars robotically.
Yes.
And we've sent probe. I mean, I think Voyager went past there.
Yeah.
Way back in the 70s. That's one thing too. Voyager is in interstellar space now. It's the furthest man-made craft out in space.
You know what's fascinating about space is it's so immense. It's vast. I mean, I can't even comprehend it. And lately I've been thinking more and more about it. It's pretty amazing how big it is. It's like...
What do we have to look forward to in the future when it comes to SpaceX or Tesla?
Well, right now I'm looking forward to October 10th. I want to see
the robotic taxi.
The robo-taxi.
Automated taxi.
I think it's going to change the landscape of transportation. I think it's going to bring about a time when you don't even have to own a car, because you can just pull out your phone, catch a ride, and it'll be cheap and fast and safe. And this isn't like taking an Uber. You can hop in the car. You know, it's going to be designed for comfort. You're not going to be paying attention. You might be looking out the window, but I mean, you're not going to be worried about anything. You're going to get where you're going. It's going to be fast. It's going to be cheap. Why would you buy a car and pay insurance?
You wouldn't need to, would you?
No.
You know, I visited New York City a long time ago. You'd be surprised. Well, first of all, New York City is probably one of the most populated cities in the United States. I mean, you got that, and you got L.A. One of the things about New York City that y'all might notice if you ever visit is how narrow the streets are, number one. But that's not the main point. The main point is how many people do not own cars.
That's true.
They take a taxi or the bus or the train, the subway system. There is only probably a third of the population own cars, and the reason why more people ride public or use public transportation as opposed to owning a car is because to even park, you have to rent a parking spot and pay per month for that spot.
Yeah.
Because there's really not enough parking there in New York City. So that's one thing you'll notice when you go visit is people using public transportation, and that's what kept Yellow Taxi alive was New York City. When I went and visited, that's all I did was ride the yellow cabs. So this could revolutionize. I mean, we're talking about putting Uber, Lyft, taxis, all of that under with this.
Oh, they'll go up. Do
you think they will be called faster? Do you think
it'll put them out of business? They can't compete.
Because that's what Uber had going for them is they got to you quicker than a taxi.
Well, they can't compete on price or time or anything else. I mean,
and safety.
Safety. You don't have to have a driver for crying out loud. You're not. I mean, it's crazy. There's no way you can compete. Uber's got to pay for a driver and gas. Forget about it. Ain't gonna happen. This is gonna eat everybody's lunch.
Now, is this taxi? Is it electric as well?
It's electric.
Okay.
100%.
Okay. Yeah, he loves his electric vehicles.
Yeah.
One thing I've compared, and I've done it many times, Elon to our modern day Nikola Tesla, because he's visionary. He has gotten some things done, and he dabbles in absolutely everything. So that's what I like about him. Not only that, but look at the advancements he's made in such a short amount of time. Like, it's just amazing when you look at SpaceX and what they've accomplished, and Tesla and what they've accomplished.
Also, he thinks big. You know, it's like, wouldn't it be cool if this could happen? Is it possible? Yeah, well, let's do it. I mean, how many people? We don't have anybody doing that anymore.
No, not nowadays.
Not even on a small scale. You know, it's kind of sad. We don't have inventors. You know, they're inventing ways. They do that at Tesla. Look at the Gigapress, how they make the cars. I mean, they revolutionized the way cars are built. And part of this new $25,000 car is going to come out of the robotaxi. The robotaxi is going to evolve into a $25,000 cheap car for us to buy. But the funny thing is, like I said, I don't think anybody's going to be buying a car. I mean, you're not going to need to.
You're not going to need a car. I'll still buy cars. I mean,
So,
a lot of people, whenever you say something about tech or talk about tech, the first thing they think of is Apple.
mm-hmm.
I mean, look, this Apple was the first to have a handheld computer. Basically, that's what the iPhone is. It has, you can make calls on it. It has a calendar built in. It has a calculator. You can make videos. You can send pictures. You can this got rid of several devices and it put it all in one. Now you don't have to have a GPS system. You don't have to have a telephone. You don't have to have a Palm Pilot or whatever for your calendars and all that stuff. It's all in one. It plays music. I mean, it can store music on it. So
the camcorder, the Walkman. I mean, yeah, you name it. It's all in one device.
Yeah. So that's what people think about. It's Apple.
But see,
but here's the thing. The difference between Apple and Elon Musk's company. Elon said, "Oh well, yeah, you got a handheld smartphone, but let's put that in your brain. Let's implant it right here."
Yeah.
Neuralink. That's basically. I mean, are these going to be a thing of the past?
Pretty much.
Do you think we won't have this no more?
I think people will want a Neuralink, and the thing about it is you're not even going to know if somebody has one or not because you can't see it.
Now, here's what I do worry about. Okay, as long as there's the internet and as long as there's computers, you're gonna have hackers.
Yes.
You're gonna have it. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
What about Neuralink?
Well, Neuralink, you're not even going to know that if somebody has one or not. You won't be able to tell by looking at them. It's not a device they're.
But do you think it would be hackable? Are you aware that he's taken any precautions, maybe, or?
I'm sure they are.
Because anything that connects to the internet can be hacked.
Yeah, I'm sure safety will be a primary issue, because.
Well, I mean, if it's hooked up, if they have it hooked up to help quadriplegics walk again, to help with all kinds of diseases like Parkinson's. You name it. Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
All of that stuff. It would really be a sick joke to hack someone who uses it to walk.
True.
I mean, but there are those out there.
The facts are facts. I mean, you put a big pot of honey out there, somebody's going to want some. Somebody's always chasing the money. It's just the way we are. So you've got to protect it. And I don't know how they're going to do that or what stuff that they're going to use, but I'm sure that it's a thought.
Tinfoil hat. That's where tinfoil hat comes in, guys.
Yeah.
SpaceX, real quick. Let's get back to that for a second.
Okay.
Do you think... So I really think that Elon Musk's SpaceX is going to be the company to get man to Mars. I really believe that.
I think so.
And I believe we'll see that within a decade.
We'll see it.
Do you think
for sure
he will help us meet these guys?
Oh, yes. Well, yeah.
And do you think these guys are influencing him? A lot of people do. A lot of people even call him a reptilian. I mean, that's a whole nother episode. Yeah. But because of the advancements and how quickly he's making them, a lot of people think these guys are influencing him,
That could be true, but I like to believe that he thinks
he's
big.
just very, very scientific,
Well, he's got the resources,
I don't know if I believe these guys or not. I'm the type that when I see one, I'll believe it, I mean, I have one here. He's been a guest on Dimensions ever since the pilot episode, but I until I see one, I'm not a believer. Only aliens I've seen come from the southern border. But I mean, anyways,
true.
So, Until I see it, I don't believe it. But there are those who believe that because of his advancements and how quick, he's being influenced.
Yeah. There's always going to be a conspiracy theory. Not that that's a conspiracy theory,
Right.
but I mean, who knows? I believe that there is intelligent life out there somewhere. I believe
It's hard to believe, as big as space is, we're the only inhabited planet.
It's hard to believe that there's not somebody out there. And I think in this process of going to Mars, we're going to find them. If we haven't already, and we just don't know it, I don't know.
Well, it could be that we have already, and it's just being hid from us. Here's the thing. I don't think Musk would hide it from us, do you? If he goes to Mars and finds something, do you think he'll keep quiet?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, but
Why
you
would he?
can bet the government will try to make him be quiet.
Oh, I'm sure. But he's in the position now, and even more so as things.
I mean, he bought Twitter for free speech, so I'm sure he'll tweet about it.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, he'll go up to. I don't know if he will personally go to Mars. I know that he will send his trained astronauts to go. But I'm sure he wants to be the first one to tweet from Mars.
Yeah.
And you want to be the first one to
I want to be the first one to DJ the party.
DJ on Mars.
I used to be a DJ for 5 years at a private club here in Oklahoma, and I miss it. It was a lot of fun, and I miss being a DJ. I'm going to be doing some streaming online and stuff down the road, but yeah, when we go to Mars, you're going to have somebody to start the party.
See, he didn't say if we go to Mars. Did y'all notice? He said when we go to Mars.
It's already a thing in my mind.
We've already went with robots, but we're talking manned mission to Mars.
As soon as I can get my little butt up there, I'm going. That's all there is to it. I've already got it on my website that I want to be the first DJ to DJ on Mars. I even have my playlist. I've even started working on the playlist.
So why don't you go ahead and share your website with us? Where can people go see you?
Well, it's michaellooper.com. The only thing is it's really not up and running at the moment. But
it will be, right?
But it will be. So here within about a month or so, it should be up and live.
Well, this episode will be loaded in about a month or so. So
that's perfect.
Probably more than a month away. But
just keep going to michaellooper.com.
Spell Looper.
Looper is Looper.
So just like you would think.
Just all one word, all lowercase, just michaellooper.com. That's it.
So any final words about Elon Musk you'd like to leave the show with?
I would like to inspire people to think the way he does, because that's what inspires me. So when you're talking about Elon, I like the fact that nothing is impossible. It's just a matter of, do we want to take the time to put in the effort to do it? And just because something's never been done before doesn't mean it isn't possible. So think about that. When you're thinking about Elon, think about the way he thinks. Is it possible? Would it be cool? Well, let's do it. So
yeah, let's just do it.
I mean, why talk to think that way?
Why talk about it? Let's just do it.
That's right.
He's just done it. I mean,
didn't you say you were going to bring some mojitos in here? Let's get the booze in here. No.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, and that's the thing. That's what you call being a visionary. He comes up with an idea, and well, let's do it. I mean,
well, first you have to believe it's possible, no matter what it is you're talking about, and then you have to put action to it. And that's the difference between him and most people. They don't put action to their ideas. I think a lot of you out there probably have ideas of your own that would probably work, but you got to act on them, and that's the hard part.
Yeah.
So I want to encourage everybody to get off your couch and go do something. Anyway.
He did. He revolutionized how we get every app that you can think of where you get money instantaneously. It came from him, his idea. It came from PayPal.
Yeah.
Venmo, Cash App, Chime. I mean, there's apps I probably don't even know of. But where did it come? Where did that idea come from? It came from his company. That's called being a visionary.
But he's all about action. He worked his ass off. People are like, oh, he's lucky, he's the richest guy in the world. There ain't no luck to it.
Oh no, he wasn't born in wealth. No, he made his own.
His companies almost died. And when Tesla was in production hell, he was sleeping on the factory floor. And he even said, this is insane. Nobody should be spending this much time at work. Nobody. I mean, so my point is, you got to put in the effort. You got to put in the time, no matter what you're talking about or what you want to do, and you can do it. And that's the difference. Work hard at it. Have an idea, work on it, and believe it's possible, and put the action to it. Okay, I'm done preaching.
I'm just fascinated with this website that shows where the Tesla is right now in space.
That's pretty
It's
cool.
it even shows the orbit of it and everything.
Yeah.
Anyways, well, I think...
Also, I want to say thank you for having me on your show.
Oh, we're going to have Mike on again, guys, with an episode about AI, because there's so much information there.
We live in a unique time.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's the most exciting time ever, especially for people like us who have seen this technology rise from the very beginning. We started out playing Atari like everybody else.
Oh my God, yeah, 8-bit.
Then we've seen the whole progression, and now we're going to get to...
Look at the video games that are out now. Look at the graphics.
It's mind-blowing.
The resolution compared to Atari.
I was out there playing, and a Pac-Man on the Atari was atrocious.
Oh my gosh, it was just a square. Yeah, it was. Hey, I loved it.
I still have carpal tunnel from holding those damn joysticks for too many hours when I was a kid. And we go from that to look where we are now. It's amazing.
Yeah. Atari, the last console I actually ever had was a PS2. I still have my PS2.
PS2.
But I'm 100% PC gaming now. This is totally off the subject. So anyways, yeah, that's our episode. That'll let it be edited out probably.
Okay.
So
That's cool. That's cool. But anyway, I do want to say thank you for having me on the show. I enjoyed it. And we'll see you next time.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.